Okay, before we just jump straight into it, I want to give a welcome to everybody watching this video. The Wildcat review I did was a proof of concept and it wasn't great, but it taught me what I needed to do and what I should avoid. The first thing being, I tried in that video to do a face cam and then the hand cam for the figure. The sad thing is I couldn't convert the hand cam to my computer in time to get both the face and hand, so I just had to go with the hand cam. Overall, really stupid. So today I'm just going to do it exactly how I did it on TikTok, set the phone up, show you this stuff, keep it simple, and then obviously the background that I don't get to use that much, because when I did this on TikTok, the light above me that's actually lighting this up pretty well was behind me instead, so it was like covering a bunch of this stuff. Also, really quick, the shelves end up looking a lot better than this. This is the top 4, there's 9. So there's 5 each, wait, hold on, no, sorry, that's completely wrong, 15 total slots. All you can see right now is 4. I'm going to be upgrading them and putting the right stuff in them. I took all my figures out for a top 10 list, which I'm going to be redoing on here, so look out for that. But in the meantime, since I've introduced you, you know what's going on. You see the setup, you know why it's like that. Let's get straight into the video. And for today's video, I'm going to be starting my concept I had over on TikTok where I spin a wheel, get a random figure, then review. Speaking of, and here's the first review, you can see the wheel is filled with a bunch of figures, but today we got Fastest from the Eternals. Now, getting straight into the point really quick, why do everything this way? I'm not rich. I can't buy every new release or even try to keep up with some of the reviewers on here. So the whole point of the wheel spin is to be able to review what I have. And this is a pretty thick box, so we have a bunch. And luckily enough, getting Fastest as the first figure, it's on top of the box, so I won't have to dig crazily for it. Now, when I first watched the Eternals, I actually did not mind the movie that much. It really dragged at some parts and the pacing kind of sucked. The story seemed fine, everything seemed all right. And then you watch a review on YouTube and you're like,
it's the biggest piece of dog shit.
But I thought it was fine. It was entertaining, but the problem that I saw on YouTube is they took a lot of well-established characters, the Eternals, and just did their own thing, where they had really cool like styles or costumes. Again, they just did their own thing just for uniformity, and it just turned into a weird piece of art, film, whatever you want to call it. Now, one of the people I actually did really like in it was Fastest or Festus, however you say it. He seemed fine. He was almost a comic relief, if not literally, and just one of the most relatable. But not only that, he's good with tech, so it's something that fits into today's, climate, stuff going on. And one of the things I don't care for is the Eternals in the comic books have really cool suits that make them look all spacey. This it's kind of like, it almost looks like a traditional dress or something. And obviously they all share it. They all have their own versions. I don't know. It looks all right in the movies, but the figures, they just come out weird. And one of the things you'll notice right away is it really limits the articulation. This is as back as it can go, and we'll get straight into the articulation. I'll go over it further. This is as forward as it can go. I see a lot of people complain about McFarlane. Heads up, there's going to be a lot of reviews on here because I personally love it and a lot of other figures, so you'll get a bunch. You can see 2 Mayfex and an SHF, so don't worry, you're covered. But why don't we just do it now? I'll give you a quick look at Fastest, and let's just get straight into the articulation. Now, starting out with the head, he actually gets a pretty decent up. I'd say this is more than fine. I can't remember if he can fly. I don't think so, but definitely more than enough for a flying pose if he can. I think he's just more of a tech guy, stay on the ground, just make stuff happen. I haven't seen it in a while, and because of how bad the movie is, why would I? Then for a tilt, he gets a surprisingly good head tilt. Marvel Legends usually don't. You can usually do like the littlest bit and then it doesn't want to move, so I am pretty impressed with that. Besides that, you get a full rotation, no problem. As for the down, he gets about as down as you'd expect. He kind of has a beard, so it gets in the way, but it's not too thick. It's just because of how that neck works, he doesn't get that far down. Then getting into the arms, you can get a pretty decent up, definitely above that 90-degree standard by a little bit. That's usually what I try to do to judge. If they can't even get 90 degrees, like, it's looking bad. Like, there's figures back in the day that can. Then what Marvel Legends is pretty good about is having butterfly joints sometimes, not here. You do get bicep swivel though. You get a double jointed elbow and, yeah, completely pinless. I was not expecting that. I didn't know they were doing it that long ago. But even though it's pinless and it looks great, it doesn't even get as far of a range as like McFarlane. So just put pins in there if you can give me a better range than this. You can see clearly because the top of the forearm comes out a little bit, it collides with the bicep and it just kills your articulation. As for the hand, Marvel Legends seems to get a really good down, or the hands are able to come out a little bit where it's more free-flowing. So down, great, honestly perfect. If it can go straight down where it's dislocated, we're good. As for the up, like I was saying, it comes out a little bit. Yeah. Hold on. Let me try to show you this. It comes out just a little bit to get it, but if it can get it, I'm happy. And then as for rotation, you get rotation, no problem, just about with any figure. Very rarely across any line will there ever be something to stop the rotation of the head or the hand, so you usually don't have to worry about it. If I get deep into videos, I'm going to stop bringing it up, and then you'll know that it gets it no matter what. Getting to the chest, though, and those problems I was talking about, barely any back, barely any forward. Because of how they molded the chest, it just immediately goes into the dress piece. No movement. Now, as for tilt, you can get some decent tilt from side to side and some swivel, of course, no problem. As for the legs, you can, I mean, just look at it. The dress is in the way. You can get a decent kick up, but because of that dress, it just immediately catches it. I'd say this is about slightly over a 45, maybe 60-degree angle. The problem, though, is you can't even go just straight up. So if you're trying to do poses where you have to have the legs straight up, it's not doing it. It's out to the side. As for the back is horrendous. Like, this is just terrible, sadly. I mean, there's a reason these didn't sell well. At Ollie's, maybe, but I don't even think there. I see them all the time. As for the legs, it's a double-jointed leg that can't even do the double joint. You have to... I don't even know if you can that well. You have to try to manipulate this so hard, and that's as far back as it can go, I'm pretty sure. So, not great whatsoever. As for the thighs, you actually do have a thigh cut. McFarlane isn't known for thigh cuts, but they do sometimes. Marvel Legends is pretty good about thigh cuts. What McFarlane does that makes it excusable is their thighs can usually go out to the side with a swivel. Sometimes they can, sometimes they can't. Here, you have a whole thigh cut, so you get that range beautifully. I wish McFarlane would more, but if it's something with the budget, I get it, whatever. But getting down to the feet, this is about your default for reference. You can get up this high and back this far, which is perfect. If you can get it just facing down at the ground, awesome. The sad thing is, again, unlike McFarlane, what they do different is they don't usually have toe articulation. It's a pretty rare thing, so you're not getting it here. There's no toe articulation, sadly, but you can pivot the feet, no problem. And if you want to, you can kind of use the pivot to rotate them. I don't know why you would, but you can. Besides that, he's pretty basic. I don't think he came with anything. I'm pretty sure it was just him. Maybe an extra pair of hands. I'm going to show the box right here. Okay, I fibbed. He does come with stuff, and I'm going to keep it up here. He has an extra pair of hands, so he has these grabby hands. When I used to pose him, when I liked the Eternals movie and thought it was fine, I didn't even end up getting all the figures, so sadly, Gilgamesh is never going to get built unless I just really want to, and I'll buy it from Ollie's. But he has these hands to kind of do, like, the tech stuff, but he doesn't come with any effects, so it's like... You're just using your imagination more than you already are with playing with figures, if you do. But like I said, just kind of like manipulating hands or like doing stuff. And then, of course, fists. And then he comes with Gilgamesh legs. Or leg, sorry. So overall, honestly, pretty boring figure. I'd say if I had to rate this thing on hype, it would probably get a 0. Not only do people not even like the movies, but it doesn't come with anything that's that cool. You get just very simple hand swap, a leg for a Build-A-Figure people probably don't care about. And I don't even think Festus did anything that crazy in the movie. Then for articulation and looks, they nailed the guy pretty well. Maybe a little bit better on the face scan, but it does look like him, so I'm going to give it an 8. And that's basically the end of the love I'm going to give it. For articulation, I don't know, like a 5. Maybe even a low 5. You know what? I lied. I'm giving it like a low 3. Where it had good articulation was immediately taken away by the severe lack of leg. It should have it, it's just the dress gets in the way, and then the chest, the back, and the crunch forward are terrible. Even the double jointed elbows, it should be able to get a really good bend, maybe even perfect where it can touch its own shoulder, but because the biceps are big, shout out Festus, you can't. I do at least have to give it bonus points though on the tilt because there's some Marvel Legends where their heads are usually like this and they might be able to do that. So that's it for me. If you guys enjoyed, please like and hit the subscribe button. Besides that, I'm going to leave links to all my other stuff down in the description below. I promise I'm not trying to be greedy. I'm just trying to get things rolling again. We had such momentum on TikTok just for it to be wiped out in like a day. I do wholeheartedly believe TikTok will come back. But in the meantime, this is the perfect excuse to get my YouTube going. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. Now, I believe we're at 1,500 subscribers on YouTube. So if we can get to 2,000, I'm going to keep to my promise and be giving away this Robin Tim Drake and the Evil Superman Platinum from the Collector's Edition. As always, though, thank you guys for watching. I'm going to go ahead and organize the shelves and get straight to bed because Lions losing and it being this late at night, I'm ready for it. But besides all that, have a good one, guys.